Why June? Why is June the month we celebrate queerness? You know, for a long time, I did not like this month. I did not like rainbows being plastered everywhere, of gay people so proud in their own image that they would walk in the middle of the street holding hands and celebrating their lives. It scared me. It scared me because I was afraid to admit I was one of them. Because if I admitted I was gay at that time, it would have been dangerous. It is not safe to be someone like that, not where I grew up. I hear often people complain that queer stories are too tragic, that queerness should be celebrated, that our media should reflect that and should reflect the joy we experience in our lives. But how? How can we celebrate so joyfully when so much of our history is covered in blood? When the fabric of our existence is tragedy, how can we ever escape it? Why do we celebrate Pride? I think now I understand. It's June, everyone. It's our month. How wonderful. You know, confession time, I've never understood why June was the month that we celebrate Pride. I always just kind of accepted it. So I'll tell you a little secret. June 28th, that morning, was when the Stonewall riots started. This was a major shift in the gay rights movement from assimilation to liberation. Liberation movements formed, they believed in their radical opposition, they defined themselves by their transgression. It was a very powerful time when people thought we could do so much better. And this was the part of the history I did not know much about. I knew about ACT UP and GRID, about the Be Gay, Do Crime slogan and the television protest. Of course I would. My Theo was directly involved in that tradition, in those movements. I took the time to learn about that stuff because I wanted to learn more about him. But everything before that, I had no clue. I knew the word Stonewall, I knew there were riots. I think most of us know that Stonewall exists, but, I mean, let's be honest, they don't exactly teach our history in school. They ignore us. They always have. So I thought this month I would take the time to really learn more about it. I bought a book. I guess 2 books, technically. So in honor of my incredible ignorance, I want to build Stonewall right here in my world. A reminder of the battles that were fought, of my Theo who has left me, of the wonderful spirit of queens and queers. I found this book at a half price a while ago. I don't quite remember. I was looking for something specific, a book about hell, The Hike by Drew McGarry. They didn't have it, but as I passed over a section reserved for history, a subject I loathe, I saw something poking out of the shelves. I've never really had a culture of my own. Caught between 2 races, plucked between 2 homes, I've never been fully accepted by either. But in university, when I met other queer people for the first time, it was like something I'd never felt before. There were no tests, no skepticism. I was not judged by my appearance, how I spoke. It was incredibly accepting. The people I knew there, they were kind to me, kind in a way no one else had ever been. For the first time in my life, I felt safe. When I look through this book, I see that community again, a community I'm no longer a part of but wish I could be. A playful jealousy fills my mind. He whispers promises that one day I will find that again. And I believe him. There is a culture here, some deep tradition that I feel connected to and a part of like no other. Inked in monochrome, I see myself and us and you together. Envy is not always evil. I used to like rainbows when I was a kid. I thought they were pretty. I remember a drawing I made when I was little. I drew my little pink and yellow house in a town of 1,500, a dust-caked lawn in the middle of nowhere, a rainbow above us. It didn't rain often where I used to live. It was very rare. When we saw a rainbow, it was a miracle. I was told it was a promise from God. That drawing was taken from me, thrown away. Rainbows are dangerous, of course. Madness that now Pride makes me so happy, having a month for us to look back at how far we've come and how much further we need to go. I love hell. Always have, always will. I'll never stop loving hell. It is my happy place. Not a realm of endless punishment. That's boring and cliched. No, I'm not interested. Hell is a mirror, a place to reflect on the life you've lived. How ironic that a place like that would only be useful for the living. Hell is where I put all of my unresolved issues and wonderful memories. It is a reflection of my past. It's a diary. My little diary written in voxels and cubes. I've been writing a lot lately, but a shame it's all been in limbo. I love limbo, don't get me wrong, but limbo is the land of mourning and nostalgia. It's great here, but it's quite a downer. It's not really a place that hope can live. That's what the world above is for. Earth is about hope. Pride fills me with hope, but when I was deciding where to build Stonewall, I realized the only correct answer is Asphodel. City of Envy. Welcome to the future site of Asphodel, a sparkling city made of stone and brick, cold steel, and glittering glass. Here in Asphodel, we can feel inspired and ashamed, what you wanted for yourself and your life, the things you never got to achieve, and the things you wish you could have been a part of. I like it here. I think I will, and to commemorate this wonderful city, I want to make a wonderful little place. The Stonewall Inn. So that book I have, there's a picture towards the beginning of Stonewall, way back in the day. It's gorgeous. Today, one of the two buildings that used to be Stonewall is a national monument, way in the back, right there. And if you visit Stonewall today, that's what you'll see. Also, notice right in front the Village Voice, a news publication. During the Stonewall riots, the Village Voice was not kind to its neighbor, but during the 80s, things started to change. The Voice is gone today. This is what that same spot looks like now. So much has changed. I rarely recognize it. I want this to be here in my world, and I want to build a version of it that never existed. A combination of the past and present, more like the idea of Stonewall that lives in my mind, the mythology of that place, built block by block. I'm in love with the word wonderful today. It's really speaking to me. How wonderful that we get to celebrate this month. You know, it's cloudy outside today. It's raining. Just a little bit. And I can hear thunder in the distance. And you know, I'm a little bit sick. I've been a little bit sick lately because I've been doing a lot of manual labor and my body's like rejecting it almost at this point. And because of that, I've been like completely unable to eat meat, any sort of flesh. In order to compensate, I've been eating a lot of tofu and eggs and paneer, like anything like that I can get down, but my body's really upset about it. Give me that. I just feel like days like this, when I'm kind of sick and it's raining outside, it's just the best day to be alive, man. So, I actually recorded me doing this a while ago. My recording ate itself. But I was attempting to create the Pride banner with the default vanilla garbage. It didn't work, so I thought that I would make my own striping system so that I could do it. It also didn't work because you can't have more than like X amount of things on a vanilla banner. So I went nuclear. I added Pride flags to my data pack and resource pack. Call me a heathen, if you will. Now, I do have news on the data pack resource pack. I'll talk again about that at the end of the video, but check this out. Okay, so some people don't know what this is. This is the original pride flag designed in San Francisco. I think sometime around like 1960 something, maybe it might have been later, 70 something. It's important to know that like during Stonewall, the pride flag was not a thing, but this was the original design. It eventually later was modified because no one could find pink fabric. And eventually people just stopped using it altogether, and then they merged the cyan and blue together to make what we know today is like the common pride flag. This was really popular back in 2008 during Obama's presidency. Since then, we've moved a little bit towards more inclusive banners or more inclusive flags. This is one design called the new pride flag. It's pretty common to see the chevron design. It looks kind of like this, and it has the agender logo, like circle right there in the middle. I think all of these are very cool. I also added trans because trans people are cool. Eventually, I want to have all the flags in there, or not all of them, but I want to have a couple more. I definitely want like the ace and lesbian stuff in there, right? Shout out your favorite identity. What identity group should I make a flag for? I don't want this. Stop. Very cute though. I've actually been called trans quite a bit. Like on more than one occasion, people have conspired to tell me that I'm actually trans because of my ambiguous gender, which it's great. It's great. Anyways, we're going to use these. We're going to use all of these today for the Stonewall situation. How wonderful, man. How wonderful. You know, I have a song stuck in my head today. It's Labyrinthine, Lena Raine's gorgeous track. Look, I know people love C418. I get it. He's classic. But I really think Lena Raine cooked with a lot of her stuff, except for the freaking... You know the one I'm talking about, the music box one? I hate it. I'm sorry. I know that's unpopular. Let's get to building, bruh. I'm sorry, when I'm sick, I act a little bit silly. I apologize. I apologize that the silly meter's out of control. I need my dyes. Shout out your favorite identity. What identity do you belong to? Is your identity a threat to democracy? How many times has your identity been accused of being a communist? Stonewall was a big deal, and I think it's easy to forget. For us to forget what it really meant. Back in the day, the gay rights movement was placid and kind. Similar to how it is nowadays, I suppose. The idea that the reason normal people hate us is because they do not understand us, that their ignorance breeds fear, and if we educate people, if we show them that we are normal too, that they will treat us with respect and give us the rights we ask for. That idea is called assimilation, the goal being for queer people to assimilate into normal society. And yes, I do mean normal. What other way to juxtapose the word queer? This was a pamphlet distributed to homes around the 1960s. This era of the gay rights movement was defined by this ethos. That quiet progress, that education will save us. And I want you to keep in mind that back then there was no robust vocabulary for differentiating categories of queer. Trans people, cross-dressers, queens, and lesbians would all be called gay. Gay rights wasn't just about homosexual men, it was about all of us. All of us who find ourselves a little queer. Assimilation is what gay rights would look like for some time, until one night in 1969. The Stonewall Inn was a mafia-run gay bar in Greenwich Village, New York. This bar, and many others like it across the city, would be continuously raided by police. The cops would find some reason for the bars to be out of compliance. Often the licenses gay bars needed to stay open did not exist, or they were denied them by the government. The system was rigged against them. They had no choice but to pay the cops off, and when they didn't, they would be met with violence. Trans people and cross-dressers in bars like this, they would be taken away, taken alone to a bathroom with a cop to confirm their gender. How upsetting that this story is so familiar. This night was different than the others. Something was brewing, had been brewing for years. Years of kind words and calm gestures, polite discussion only to be thrown and beat and bruised by the people who were supposed to protect them. June 28th, 1969, 1:20 a.m. I don't know why this was the night, that this was the bar where everything changed. Raids were normal, beatings were normal, extortion was normal. Why tonight? When the cops arrived to the scene, patrons saw in horror that, of course, there were already cops inside, undercover. Disguised as lesbians and gays, they had visual evidence, and the patrons were surrounded. People formed lines, forced into submission. The windows were blocked off. There was only one exit. The police wagon was opened. They walked single file to yet another terrible night. The police began to escort people. They were violent and cruel. A lesbian, dressed a little too dyke, a little too butch, was smashed over the head with a baton. She was complaining that her handcuffs were too tight. How upsetting that this story is so familiar. Another woman, as she was being dragged by a cop thrown into the back of a wagon, pled to the crowd, "Why don't you do something?" There was an energy in the air. Too many years spent like this. It was electric. The gays threw rocks at the police, bottles and debris at the wagon and its guardsmen. The police tried to retaliate, but there were too many of them, and the police were unprepared. Fires were lit on the street. The Stonewall was blockaded, fire at its stoop. They wanted the cops dead for them to burn. A prison across the street holding lesbians and trans people chanted gay rights as the bar caught fire. Flaming debris flew from the prison windows. They had enough. Police brought in backup. The crowd mocked them by dancing in the streets. The vicious Queen Martha P. Johnson, a legend in silk and spangles, arrived on scene after the riots began. The crowd pushed back, and the police were furious. Normal people pushed back. Normal people rioted. But not the fairies. Not the fairies. The fairies won. I can't imagine. I know if that happened today, hundreds of queer people would have had bullets torn through their bodies. And we would have been the only ones who cared about it. How familiar. Stonewall was the beginning of a new ethos for gay rights. Well, not exactly new, but powerful. Stonewall emboldened the gay community. We could fight and win. Wild. Mad, crazy, even, that this was something that could be done. For years, Mattachine, the rest of them, who tried that quiet, slow progress of assimilation, we saw that actually something else could be done. A violent, sudden progress where we didn't have to take shit anymore. We could do something better. This new idea, the idea of acting violently, demanding our rights, and more importantly, rejecting the cultural norms that were thrust upon us. No, not male, not female, something else, something new, something that fits me better. We will not consign ourselves to a miserable life with a partner we have no attraction to. If we do not want children, we have the right to refuse that compulsion. We will not work and slave under powerful and rich people who want only to exploit us. This was the new ethos. Liberation. GLF, the Gay Liberation Front, an organization who embodied these ideals. They had lofty goals, good ones, to be fair, but ambitious. They wanted to throw out sex and gender, capitalism and patriarchy, and a white-focused society. Yes, all the video essay words, everything that they hated, that was used to hurt them. They wanted something new. This was the paradigm shift. Liberation, its new ideal. All right, I need y'all to look at this. I need you to look at these roads that I've been doing. Do you see? Now it's time for me to admit something that's very embarrassing. I used math. I used trigonometry during this build, and I apologize to all the anti-math heads. The reason I did this is because when I was building, I was just kind of guessing the angles of things, and it would end up looking weird because the buildings weren't connecting the way that they were supposed to in the picture. So I went on Google Maps. I grabbed the roads, a picture of the roads, and I slapped a protractor on top of it. You take the protractor, find the angle. Trig says if you take the tangent of that angle, it'll get you the slope of the line, the hypotenuse, right? Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. It's not crazy, I promise. Look, you put the slope into like a graphing calculator. Now look at where it is. Look at where it is. We can kind of guesstimate what that would be in Minecraft based on these things, right? So for example, here, it looks like it goes up 2, then 1, then 2, then 1. Now, if I was good at math, I could create some sort of mad step function that takes the average of the lines and does it accordingly, so it converts it into sort of a blocky pixel-based thing. I'm not that good. Maybe you are, and if so, put your magical step functions below, because I would be interested in that, legitimately. But it just goes to show you, man, trig is actually cool and useful in very niche contexts. And most people probably shouldn't spend their time learning it, but I love it. The GLF was determined but chaotic. They had no interest in political organization. They were pissed and wanted to see everything burn. GAA was formed as a response to it. I think people forget a lot of lesbian remnants of the suffragette movement. They helped queer people organize into politically effective tools. They had the experience and know-how to get stuff done. Gay men, you owe so much to lesbians, to feminists. Without them, we would be screaming in the streets and nothing would come of it. Without them, you wouldn't have the right to get married. 4 months after the Stonewall riots, 4 people got together. 2 gay men, 2 lesbians went to the Eastern Regional Conference of Homophile Organizations and proposed an annual march in honor of Christopher Street, of the Stonewall, of the people that made history. Christopher Street Liberation Day, which of course would come to be known as Pride. When we look at our past, our history, we see crests and troughs, assimilation and liberation ethos waxing and waning over time. Eventually, the anger from Stonewall died down, the queer community laid low for a while. Until GRID. Until the 80s and the AIDS epidemic, once again the forefront of our movement, liberation and its ideology, the ethos of political action and social upset. ACT UP and GLAAD came to power, leading this charge. Crests of liberation. This is where we see a lot of progress happen. Unfortunately, when we get crumbs, it tends to pacify the movement. The most privileged among us, white, cis, gay men, yes, people like me, get complacent. In that complacency, movements die. People still hurt, black and brown folks still suffer and fight, but without access to more power, it makes things much harder. The Hawaii decision came and went, DOMA was passed, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was implemented, but let's stop here. I want to talk about Obergefell. Jim Obergefell and his husband John Arthur married out of state in Maryland. John was sick at the time, very sick. When they returned to Ohio, they found that their state would not recognize their union. When Arthur died, Jim would not be put on his death certificate. This isn't just a matter of a name on a piece of paper. These policies have real, legal consequences. Marriage is not just a nice thing to have, it is baked into our society, legally, politically, economically. Denying certain people marriage has real consequences. Obergefell was not the only case with such high stakes. There were others from other states all going through the same thing, all asking to be treated the same as everyone else. How familiar. And on June 26, 2015, 2 days before the anniversary of Stonewall, I heard on the news that people like me could get married.
And when the man I loved and cared for passed away from one of the cruelest diseases known to humanity, the state of Ohio, the state in which I've lived, worked, and paid taxes for most of my life, continued to fight my right to list my name on John's death certificate. No American should have to suffer that indignity. Today's ruling from the Supreme Court affirms what millions across this country already know to be true in our hearts. Our love is equal.
I grew up thinking I would never be married. I was told by my family for 15 years that people like me should never be married. And I hear on the news that something incredible just happened. That it was legal. I feel like a lot of people don't even remember that. I never thought that I would be a husband. I never thought that I would be able to have a child. A family. My dad told me that day in 2015 that he was disgusted with the decision. And that if he could have voted against marriage rights, he would. Maybe that's why I get so angry. In high school, there was a trans person I used to be classmates with. After she started her transition, I stopped talking to her. I pretended that she wasn't there. Maybe that's why I feel so guilty. I wish I could go back. So much I wish I could go back just so I could tell her that I was proud of her, and that I wish I didn't call her Trent. I wish my life had been a little different, that I grew up around people who could have taught me this a lot earlier. My Theo died in 2016, the year after Oberger fell. I think that he would have married his husband. Married him for real, if he had the chance. If he wasn't rotting in a hospital bed. His husband is still alive somewhere. Somewhere he's still alive, but I never got the chance to really talk to him about Theo. He left so quickly. I guess without my Theo, there was no reason for him to stay close. My family hated him. It's probably better that he's gone, but I wish I kept in touch. The last time I saw him was the funeral. Even after I was introduced to queer spaces, I still hated myself, hated that part of me. Participation felt like a sin. I was scared to hold hands with someone in public. My dad used to wait outside of gay bars at the nearby city, beat the men who came out of it. I never felt safe in my hometown. I never felt safe until I met David. I dated other guys before, but I never held their hands or stood near them in public, not too close, not too affectionate, never. Kiss, it's dangerous to do that. When I look back, I feel guilty. I was never able to articulate why I felt uncomfortable doing that. I think they felt like I was embarrassed by them. Maybe I was. Embarrassed and scared. I was with David one night. It was summer. We went to a botanical garden in town. I'd recently gotten over a big breakup, and that night in the garden, something felt different. Something changed. He held my hand, and I wasn't scared. Under the pergola, we sat and talked, and I wasn't looking out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. David was different than anyone else I'd ever been with. David was the first person I felt safe with. How can something like that be wrong? How can I be wrong for this? David left that autumn. He had university in another town. I had university there. I tried to stay in touch, but it hurt him. It hurt me. I haven't talked to him since. I wish I had the courage to reach out, just to thank him, tell him how much he changed my life, that he was the one who made me question everything I was raised with, and that he made me feel safe. And I've never felt that way again. On my drive to Dallas, I listened to a song. It reminded me of him. He made me watch La Cage aux Folles with him. I loved it.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation.
Something hit me. Something in my mind changed on that drive. For the first time, I told myself I wasn't evil, and for the first time, I fucking believed it. The rainbow flag meant something to me now. Pink triangles and ACT UP meant something to me now.
It's my world that I want to have a little pride in.
The people who stormed television stations and smashed windows and laid down during mass chanting and screaming, they meant something to me. I was a part of it. I am a part of it. My Theo lived and died. My Theo lived and died for me. For me. I look back and I'm furious and I'm a coward. I can't fight, but I can care, and I'm good at caring, and no revolution is defined only by fighters. So what is my place in this? Am I allowed to have a place in this? Queer culture is the only place I feel at home, that I am comfortable in, the only place that takes me for me, and I want to pay them back. Do something for them. I'm so happy to be gay now. I spent a lot of time hating myself for it, and now I can't imagine anything else. I'm so proud to be who I am and so thankful to be a part of the history.
One life, and there's no return, and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet.
It's so hard for me to help other people right now when I'm struggling to help myself. But maybe that's why I make these videos. Because maybe I can help other people in my own small way. Maybe I can make a difference in someone else's life and make a difference while I'm still trying to figure out my own. I feel like a lot of queer people are still assimilationists. Trans people are ready, they've been ready for some time, but they don't have the numbers. They need the rest of their brothers and sisters ready to fight with them. I see the word revolution used quite a lot, but never liberation. And I wonder why that is. I'm afraid that maybe the reason these words aren't used is because no one has gone back to look at where we came from, that they forgot about our history. Stonewall and the Mattachine Society act up and glad that when white gay men got marriage, they left the rest of us behind. Did they leave us? Why do I see white gay men ready to side with the people who wanted us dead? Who want us dead? Why are they so inclined to sell out their trans brothers and sisters, black and brown folks? Did they forget about that day? Did they forget about Marsha Johnson and Joe Sino, Jim Obergefell, and Diego Vinales? Why do they get to be okay and side with evil? Why do they celebrate in Tel Aviv while their government refuses their marriage and slaughters their brown neighbors? Why did they leave us? June is historic, it is powerful and raw. And I want you to understand that acting like them, doing what they say, acting like a normal person will never make you what they want you to be, and they will stab you in the back and spit on your face as soon as they're able. As soon as they get rid of trans people, as soon as they get rid of the bad gays, they'll come for you next. There is no assimilation for us. We can never be what they want us to. Because they don't want us to be kind, they don't want us to be functional and normal, they want us to not exist. They don't want you to exist. So yes, be transgressive and be oppositional. Highlight all the ways we are different and all the ways we are dangerous. Because thousands of us died in the streets of New York, and it wasn't enough for them, and it never will be enough for them. I'm done with assimilation. I'm done with pride in Israel. It makes me sick and furious how black and brown trans people led our movement, helped us get to the thing we wanted for so long, and they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to sell them out the moment they got the fucking chance, and we will not be like this. We are better, and we are stronger together. Envy is not always evil. We covet aspirations and dreams, and we should. We have pride. Not in defiance of our God, but in a refusal to be ashamed of ourselves. This is what pride means. And this is why, in the city of envy, the mythology of Stonewall, a place that never quite existed, a dream of a dream, stands. In defiance of the life they wish we lived.